Scene 1. The Call. It comes on an ordinary afternoon. No dramatic music, no warning, just your phone vibrating against the table. Unknown number. You hesitate, just for a second, before answering. A calm voice, neutral, controlled. You were recommended, if you're interested, be at this address tomorrow. 700. No one else. That's it. No introduction, no explanation. The line goes dead. You stare at the screen, waiting for something else. Another message, a confirmation. Nothing comes. The room feels quieter than before. You tell yourself it's probably nothing. A mistake, a test, a prank even. But that night, you don't sleep much. Because deep down, you already know you're going. Scene 2. The Building. The address leads you to a place that looks intentionally forgettable. No logos, no guards standing outside, just a clean structure that blends into everything around it. Inside, everything changes. You're greeted, but not welcomed. Your phone is taken. Then your wallet. Then anything that connects you to the outside world. You sit in a waiting room with others, but no one speaks. Everyone looks calm, too calm. One by one, names are called. When it's your turn, you're led into a room that feels empty, but not really. Like you're being watched from somewhere you can't see. The questions begin. Not just about your education or experience, but your decisions, your regrets, your weaknesses. What's the worst thing you've done that no one knows about? You pause. Not because you don't have an answer, but because you realize this isn't about getting it right. It's about whether you're willing to be honest. Scene 3. Selection. Weeks pass. No updates. No feedback. Life starts to feel normal again. Almost like that day didn't happen. Then the call returns. Same voice. Report Monday. You've been selected. This time there's no hesitation. Scene 4. Breaking point. Training doesn't ease you in. It breaks you first. Early mornings turn into constant exhaustion. Physical drills push you past limits you didn't know you had, but that's not what gets to you. It's the psychological pressure. Simulations where everyone is lying. Rooms where silence is louder than interrogation. Exercises where failure isn't explained. It's just noted. You begin to notice things changing. You stop reacting the way you used to. You listen more than you speak. You watch people the way they watch you. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop thinking like yourself. Scene 5. Learning to disappear. They teach you something unexpected. The best agent is the one no one remembers. You practice blending in. Crowded streets, public transport, cafes. You sit in the same place for hours, learning patience. You study behavior, how people move when they're relaxed, how they shift when they're hiding something. You fail. A lot. A glance held too long. A step taken too quickly. A pattern noticed too late. Each mistake is small, but in this world, small mistakes grow. So you adapt. You slow down. You become quieter. Not just in actions, but in presence. Until one day, something clicks. You walk into a crowded room, and no one looks at you twice. Scene 6. First assignment. It's not what you expected. No danger. No urgency. Just a file, a name, a routine. Observe. Don't engage. You follow from a distance. Blend into backgrounds. Change positions without being seen. Hours pass. Nothing happens. But that's the point. You're not there for action. You're there for understanding. Patterns, timing, behavior. And when something finally feels off, you notice it immediately. A hesitation, a glance, a break in routine. It's small, but it matters. You report it. Later, you learn that detail changed everything. No one celebrates, but you feel it. You're no longer training. You're in. Scene 7. The double life. Your world splits into two. On the surface, everything looks normal. You laugh. You talk. You exist like everyone else. But underneath, you're always observing. Every room has exits. Every conversation has layers. Every person is a possibility. You don't switch it off anymore. You can't. Sleep becomes lighter. Trust becomes rarer. And silence becomes your default. Scene 8. Pressure. Assignments grow heavier, more complex, less forgiving. You're given decisions without clear answers. Act too soon, you risk exposure. Wait too long, you risk losing everything. There's no perfect move, only the least dangerous one. And sometimes, you have seconds to choose. Your instincts sharpen, not because you want them to, but because they have to. Scene 9. The shift. One day, something feels different. You're in a briefing room. New recruits sit where you once did. They're watching, listening, trying to understand. And then it hits you. You're not one of them anymore. You're the one they're learning from. No announcement, no milestone. Just a quiet realization. You've crossed the line. Scene 10. Elite. You don't think of yourself as elite. That word feels too clean for what this actually is, but others do. They trust your judgment. They rely on your instincts. They ask for your input before making decisions. And that changes everything. You're no longer just following orders. You're shaping outcomes. Scene 11. The cost. It doesn't come all at once. It builds slowly. Missed calls, forgotten dates, moments that pass without you being there. You tell yourself it's temporary, necessary, part of the job. But deep down, you know, some things don't come back, and some versions of your life are gone for good. Scene 12. The present. Another mission, another unknown. You stand in a room filled with people who understand exactly what this is and what it takes. There's no fear, not anymore, just focus, clarity, control. For a brief moment, your mind drifts back to that first call, that one decision, the path you almost ignored. Everything that followed came from that. And now, standing here, there's only one thought that feels real. You didn't just change your life. You became someone who can operate in the shadows and still carry the weight of what happens in the light.